Hi, I hope everyone is doing great. And today I am going to discuss a very interesting topic, which is best practices to write commit messages to Git. So, what is Git? Git is a version controlling tool that is used to track the changes of the source code in a code base. I think all the developers, software engineers, researchers, they use Git in their daily life. So if someone is collaborating with large projects, I think it's really important to know the best practices to write commit messages, and that will actually help a lot. So I'm going to discuss this today. Okay, first of all, we should know what are the commonly accepted rules for Git commit messages. Let's explore one by one. So the first rule says separate the subject from the body. And what does it mean? Let's look into an example. For example, sometimes we want to write the message and we also try to describe what we actually done in that particular commit. In that case, maybe it's good idea to write the title first, just to feel the vibe. For example, add rate limiting to user endpoints. That actually enough. But if sometimes it's really important to mention what are the changes we have done in that particular commit. Maybe add like this: add token bucket, rate limiting middle for all users, and helps prevent abuse and supports configurable thresholds. So it's a really good idea to separate the subject from the body with a blank line. So whenever we try to describe the commit. So let's look into the second rule. The second rule says limit the subject line with 50 characters. So this is understandable to everyone. Let's think about the third rule. Don't put a period at the end of the subject line. What does it mean? So for example, we can write like this: refactor authentication middleware with a period. And it's good to avoid this. We can write something like this. This is commonly accepted rules. Okay, so capitalize the first letter in the subject line means we can write like this: add unit test for card reader, which we can simply capitalize the first character, which is good practice, I guess. And this is use the imperative mode in the subject. This is a really interesting rule when I was thinking about writing commit messages. Let's discuss this here. First of all, I have seen many developers, researchers write the commit message like this: fixed bug in login header. There is nothing wrong about it. If all the commit messages are like this is perfectly fine. But the most commonly accepted rule says we have to think about, before every commit message, there is a hidden text which is if applied, this commit will. If we think about this, what does it look like? If applied, this commit will fixed bug in login handler, which doesn't make any sense. It's grammatically wrong, right? But if we write like this: if applied, this commit will fix bug in login handler. This is much more appropriate in my opinion. So this is imperative mode. I think many software developers, many engineers, and many researchers use this way, and I like this. I prefer this. And we need to explain what was done and why. But in messages, we don't need to explain how we actually did all the stuff. That's not reasonable. And okay, use common prefixes in each commit message. This is another interesting rule to me. Let's explore this. Here we can write the commit message in many ways possible. For example, we can write like this: write a function to create web transport connection. Also, we can write like this: modify user store to start web transport connection. Or maybe like this: change store so that web transport connection established. Or maybe like this: do web transport connection functionality. But here you can see the difference. Like, many person, they can write commit messages in different formats, but it's good to use some common prefix for all those different type of messages. We can simply write implement web transport connectivity. So if every team member use the common prefix, then the history of commit messages looks really good, to be honest. So in the next section, I'm going to discuss about what are actually the most common prefixes everyone should use. Let's just explore this. Here, you can see there are many common prefixes is used in many large-scale softwares. Here, I suggest maybe pause the video and just read all those prefixes and the examples here. That will be really good for you. Or maybe I can discuss some of them. For example, when we use prefix add, for example, when we add a new feature or files or functions or components, then we can use the prefix called add. Or maybe if we modify some existing logic, maybe the structure, or maybe we change the configs, then we can use the prefix called update. Similarly, there are many prefixes is being used in many cases, and if every team members use those common prefix, then it looks really good. The history of commit messages looks really good, I must say. Okay, and the last session of this video, I'm going to look into some popular open source projects. Here I have listed down some of the popular projects. We can we are human, like we can learn from others' work. So let's explore some of the popular projects, and we want to see how actually they wrote their commit messages so that we can learn. For example, let's go into, okay, so this is a TypeScript project from Microsoft. Here we can see there are like 36,000 commits. Let's look into some of their commit messages. For example, here you can see they use fix, stop, preserve as a prefix. Also, they capitalized the first character, and the subject is not longer than 50. Maybe some of the subjects are longer than 50 characters, but I think they use pretty nicely. Let's look into another projects. So this is a project called Jenkins. It has also 36,000 commits. Let's look into their commit history. Okay, they use update, migrate, allow. I think Jenkins and TypeScript has the similar commit message convention. I think they use the similar message format. We can look into some other good projects, like for example Angular projects. Let's look into their history. Okay, they have actually a different convention. Like the prefixes we mentioned earlier, they use prefixes and with a colon, and every commit messages use those prefixes with a colon. And this is the convention. Maybe the team of Angular they're working, they have agrees to a common convention like this. Maybe it's also good. I don't think it's bad. I think it's really good convention. Let's look into another project, Fast API. It's a relatively small projects, but we can explore to see. Okay, so they used the convention like TypeScript and Jenkins. The most interesting thing is they used a emoji before every commit message. See, remove Google Analytics with an emoji, update with the emoji, maybe some other comment. Let's see some other prefix, bump with an emoji, and yeah, I think it's really good. I mean, I like this convention to be honest. So they use emoji, I mean, before the prefix, and it looks good. So I think it's good, to be honest. So what I'm saying, I mean, whatever I discussed here, this is some of the thoughts and my preference. This is not the standard. So my suggestion is always discuss with team members and try to agree to come up with the same or similar convention, and everyone, maybe if everyone followed this convention, then the commit history looks really good for large projects. That's all. Anyway, enough talk. Have a nice day. And also one more thing I want to mention, maybe if you have some other thoughts, maybe let me know in the comment section, and maybe I can learn from your comments. Yeah. Okay. Bye.